Greetings to all my IELTS aspirants and friends out there. Today I'm here with another IELTS lesson, IELTS writing task 1 to be precise. So task 1 can differ according to the kind of IELTS you choose. If you are a general candidate, you might get a letter writing, and if you are an academic candidate, it will be a report writing. So today we'll focus on the academic module, and for report writing, that's basically a graph report. Like you'll get a graph and you need to report the data you can find in the graph. So there are 6 types of graphs you can expect for your actual test: bar chart, line graph, pie chart, table, map, and process. So we'll be looking into all the 6 types of question, and for a clearer picture, we'll categorize that into 2. So the first 4 will come in a single family and the other 2 in a separate one. So bar chart, line graph, pie chart, and table. These are the 4 types of questions we'll be covering in this video, and also you can expect a part 2 for the same. So the first type of question we're going to discuss is a bar chart. As you can see on the screen, the question is about online sales of smartphones, laptops, and tablets in the first quarter of 2019. So as I always say, the very first step you need to follow is to analyze the question properly. Every task 1 question will have a statement part, instruction, and then the graph. So the statement part will give you an idea about what exactly the graph or the data is, and the instruction is based on which you need to plan your essay, and you can pick the main features you need from the graph given. Okay, so in this particular question, we have 3 variants, that is laptop, tablets, and smartphones. And if we look into the graph, for the January to April, laptops had a fluctuation in the sales, because in the January it was around 50 million units, and then that had a drop till March, then it had an increase in April up to again 50. And for tablets, it had an increasing trend up to March, and for February and March it was almost stable, but that had a sudden drop by April up to 30 million. So that's something significant you can add into your report. And for the smartphones part, smartphones had a very consistent growth until March, and then it also had a drop by April. So for all the 3 categories, laptops, tablets, and smartphones, the sales were less in the month of April, but in January, February, and March, the sales were almost consistent or increasing. That was a positive trend. Okay, so these are some features you can include in your report, and this is how you analyze the question for your report writing. Okay, once you have enough features you can work on in the report, you can start writing, and the very first paragraph will be introduction. So task 1's introduction is very easy. It's something we can do just like this, because the only thing we need to do is to paraphrase the statement sentence given in the question. So paraphrasing means changing the sentence without changing the core meaning. You can do paraphrasing in 2 ways. You can either replace the words with some synonyms or just reconstruct the sentence. It's up to your convenience. You might not have all the synonyms with you. So if you are not aware of the words, you can just reconstruct the sentence. Just put the words from the beginning to the last or something like that. Just swap it up. The ultimate aim is examiner shouldn't feel like you just copied your question. Just try to bring some changes. Within 1 or 2 sentences, your introduction is done. Then you can move on to the second paragraph, that is overview. And for all the first 4 types of question, for a bar chart, pie chart, line graph, and table, for the overview part, we can just focus on the increasing and decreasing trend or the highest lowest trend. So as all these things are increasing or decreasing one or the other way, we can just focus on the highest and lowest part. That will be easier for you guys. So if you look into the graph, the highest point was for smartphones in the month of March. So you can just mention that one. And also the lowest was also for smartphones in January. Okay, so that's something you can add in your overview. also you can mention laptops, because that also was lowest in March. So maybe you can just focus on laptops and smartphones within 2 or 3 sentences, and only if you need, you can add the tablets part as well. But one thing I would suggest is try not to add any figures in your overview part, because you are going to repeat the same things in the body paragraphs as well. So just try to mention the generalized things or general trends, like it was increasing or decreasing, without mentioning the actual figures within 2 or 3 sentences. So the first paragraph was an introduction within 1 to 2 sentences, just by paraphrasing the statement sentence. And for the overview part, just focus on the highest and lowest points. Okay, and when it comes to the body paragraphs, you have complete freedom. As I always say, body paragraphs is your game. So you can decide the number of body paragraphs you need, the number of points you will include. It's all up to you. So maybe from the planning part, whatever main features you found, you can just add that as your first priority and write it into a body paragraph. So you can add all the million data, the month-wise analysis, everything in the body paragraph, and you can make it up to a 160 to 165 words essay, because even if the minimum word length we require is 150, it's always better to write a little more to be on the safer side, because even if you have some spelling errors or some grammatical slips, they might not take it into your final count. Even if you have some mistakes like that, you should be always above the minimum level. So write around 160 to 165 words, and that will help you to be on the safer side. Okay, so this is the very first type of question, and the reason why I didn't give you any particular statements or templates is because this is something you need to work on yourself. Okay, I'll give you the guidelines, or I'll give you the steps you can follow to manage your time effectively, and if you follow the same steps I just give you, that will help you to complete your task on within 15 to 20 minutes. That's the maximum time you will take. Okay, and whatever you need to include in it, it depends on the language level you have and the style of writing. So if you are able to write within 15 to 20 minutes of 160 to 165 words essay, then you're good to go. Okay, now let's move on to the next type of question, that is line graph, and it is almost similar to the one we have already discussed, that is bar chart. The structure we follow and the strategies are almost the same. The question will have 3 parts: a statement part, which we'll paraphrase for our introduction, and for the overview part, we'll just follow the increasing decreasing trend or the highest lowest trend. So in this particular question, we can just mention the highest lowest point within 2 or 3 sentences as overview, and that will be more than enough. So the highest point in this graph is cellular phone service. That was the highest one. And if you look into the lowest one, we have mobile broadband and fixed broadband at the end. It was almost 0 for until 2004. Then it had a very slight increase. So that's the lowest point we have in this graph. So we can just focus on these 2 factors as your overview part. Then you can move on to the body paragraphs, where you can mention everything you want, like whatever you feel like is main or significant, you can add in your body paragraphs. So what I will suggest is, once you have 3 or 4 main features from your planning part or the planning stage, just give it first priority. And if you're not able to attain the 150 word limit, then you can add the other features, because it is not at all mandatory for you to add everything you see on the question at once. Okay, so you can just have a plan B, or only if you are not able to attain the word limit, just add things like internet service or landline service, because for landline service it was almost the same or the stable growth for the entire time period. That's something you can add as your plan B. Okay, just give first priority to all the significant changes happen, like a steep growth or a sudden fall, all those things, and then just add all these things at the end, only if required. Okay, and the next type of question we have is a pie chart, and for the pie chart, you can expect a single pie chart, double, triple, or more than that. So the number of pie charts can vary from question to question, and this particular question, you have 4 pie charts in a single question. So it is the population of different age groups from Yemen, and Italy from 2000 with the future projection. So this is where question analysis can help you, because for 2000 the tense you use is past, but for 2050 you need to shift that into future. So you can use terms like it is expected to be, or it is predicted to be, or it is estimated to be. So these are some phrases you can use to mention the data from 2050, because all those things are assumptions. We are not sure whether that will be accurate or not. So all those are assumptions or predictions. So it's better to use those kinds of phrases to mention the data from 2050. So the planning part, or even if you have multiple charts, you can just focus on the highest or lowest point. And in a pie chart, it's the major proportion and the minor proportion. So for 2000, the major proportion was for, I guess it was for 0 to 14 years in Yemen. And in Italy, it was 15 to 59 years. And in the future projection, that changes into 15 to 59 years in Yemen, and 60 plus years in Italy. Okay, so these are some main features you can include, and you can also mention the same in your overview as well. And when you're moving on to the body paragraphs, you have two options there. You can either split that into two and write all the data from 2000 in first body paragraph, and data from 2015 second body paragraph, or you can just split that by country wise. Yemen's data in the first body, Italy's data in the second body. So it's always better if you have multiple graphs, just split that into multiple body paragraphs. That will help you to stay less confused and cover all the significant data. Okay, so that will apply to all the multiple graph question from task 1. Whenever you get a multiple graph or a graph combination of any of this graph, even that is a possibility. You can expect any combination of the first 4 types of questions, like a bar chart and a line graph, or a pie chart and a table. A combination can be expected. So when you get a question like that, just split that into separate body paragraphs. That will help you to stay less confused, and you can cover all the significant data there. Okay, and the last type of question coming under this category is a table, and this is the same as we have already discussed, and even here you have 2 separate tables, one for coffee and one for bananas. So the scales are from the same set of countries: UK, Switzerland, Denmark, Belgium, Sweden. So what you can do is, it is the data from 99 and 2004. So the tens we use are the same, and just focus on the highest and lowest part. And if there is any significant changes, like from 99 to 2004, if there was any sudden drop or a huge increase, you can also mention that. So those are the main features you can include. Then just move on to the plan B part. Only if you need some more words, just pick any of the random features and just add it there. Okay, so these are the first 4 types of questions, and this is very basic overview, and because I didn't want to give you a whole template or a shortcut to complete all these essays, I just gave you some steps and some guidelines you can use to write these types of questions. And I hope this was useful, and you can expect me with a detailed video of these question types, where we'll discuss different questions from the same question type in detail, with the possible sentences or words we can use. This was just an overview, and I hope this was useful. And the one tip I will give you is, if you want to score more in writing, writing is the only effective method. You need to write more and more and try to be your own evaluator. Just try to find out the words you're frequently using and the sentences you're frequently framing, and try to work on your own style. That's something more effective than learning some random vocabulary every day and copying some templates from Google or from some study materials. Just try to work on your own and build your own style. I hope that was useful, and for all the IELTS aspirants out there, we are here to help you. If you want to know more about the courses we offer, please click the link below.
English House. English at your fingertips.